This is take two. Okay, so I was on mute the whole time. So let me do again. Okay, so good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to episode 22 of Decaf Coffee Republic Brewing Live. This is our 30 days exploration journey, filling your digital cup with great stuff, igniting your space with opportunities for impact, income, and influence. We've started the journey last September 1 and we're ending on September 30, and we're like 8 days away from completing season 1. So I'd like to thank everyone for just joining us every single day on different time slot, on different times of the day. But again, it's been an overwhelming response. The feedback that you're giving us, really the thank yous, the congratulations, it's overwhelming. So Brewing Live is in partnership by and with, okay, so Brewing Live is brought to you by Decaf Coffee Republic in partnership with Coach A Coaching Club. This is a premium club for coaches and entrepreneur. And as a club, our mission is to create massive income massive impact by turning our talents into income and influencing the people in our chosen domain and territory through the platform of life coaching. So the first batch of Coach A Coaching Club is right now on fourth month. So we completed 3 months, and after completion of 3 months, it's our heart to serve and to go back to our community. And therefore, the Brewing Live has been launched, and we gave birth to this daily filling your digital cup with great stuff. Season 2 is now on session. It's ongoing, but the club is officially closed and we will reopen again on January 2021. Therefore, if you are thinking of really becoming the entrepreneur that you always wanted to become, I'd like to invite you to join the club when we reopens on January 2021. For the meantime, get in touch with Coach Rizal at 0917586161 to get more information of becoming a member of the club. This Thursday, okay, I'm holding a special class of Use Your Gifts and Grow Rich. This is actually part of what we're doing inside the club. And I'd like to invite you to that special master class. That's no monetary investment from your end. I just want you to pre-register and, okay, keep your camera open for the entire duration of the class so you get the maximum benefits of attending my master class. So that's going to be this Thursday, September 24 at 7 p.m. Pre-registration is definitely required. So check out the ads for this. And if somebody can please put in the chat box, okay, the link to register, that would be appreciated. Thank you so much. To everyone who's been joining us and in a journey for now 21 days. This is our 22nd day. Thank you so much for being part of Brewing Live. It's been a wonderful journey. To all the club members of Coach A Coaching Club, it's just an amazing month for us, okay, that we are now really creating a lot of value in our digital space. And to all the people following, the people from the club, maraming salamat po. Thank you so much. It's just a beautiful moment for the members of our club to receive your feedback, to receive your congratulatory remarks, and all of those things. Maraming pong salamat. Today, on day 22, episode 22, I'd like to share with you 5 domains of decision making, especially during this time of COVID-19. We are now on our 7th month of going through this new normal. We're now on the 7th month of going through this global pandemic. And I believe that sharing with you these 5 domains of decision making would truly be a lift in whatever you're going through right now in your life. So, get a pen and a paper, be intentional, get a pack my bag moment. And if this is the first time you're hearing it, pack my bag moment is our intentional getting of nuggets, wisdom, takeaway from the session. Pack my bag moment have its origin when we were doing our physical training, seminar, webinar, where or seminar or training or workshop on a physical space, wherein right after we get something, a nuggets, a takeaway or something, that's it. That's what I came for. You say, okay, I can pack my bag now and go home. Obviously, we are now on quarantine and we're doing this on a digital space. However, I still want you to be very, very intentional. Honor your time, honor the space, honor my time. And so get something that you could really get away, like get with it and share it also in your digital space so that you can bless other people who's not joining us today. If you want to put context with that, it would also be best if you put hashtag decap brewing live in your tag. We engage with your post, and therefore, when you use these hashtags, our community managers, our club members are able to see your comments, your pack my bag, and it inspires them a lot, and it helps us also to grow in the massive value that we are creating with you every single day. Our mission, as we said, is to create massive value for you, and so your feedback, your hashtag pack my bag moment is really helping us to create more value that is timely and that truly be of use for you. All right. So this is the first time we're meeting. If this is the first time you're hearing me and somebody is just watching this for the on a replay, I am Master Coach A. I'm a certified life coach with coaching focus on impact, income, and influence. But does it mean I am one person who's focusing on a system that would allow an individual to have an impact, create an impact, have an income from their talents, and have an influence in their chosen territory. Why is this my focus? Is because, okay, I'm an advocate of mental health. As a professional certified life coach, I've been doing this for over 3 years. And my focus, my advocacy is on mental health. And over the course of time, working with people, I've seen in my clients that often, okay, what challenges us mentally is that the value that we're creating or the work that we do is not valuable to the people who we love, okay, or the income that we're generating from the hard work is not even enough, okay, or in some cases I work with people who done been there, done that, have the money, have everything in lives. However, they know that they're not building their legacy, they're not having the influence in their space. And all of these things would really have a nudge, have a nudge on our health, on our mental health. And therefore, 3 years down the road of my service right now of servicing people on mentally challenged people, I came now with a five-step process. It's proven. I've been working it with my clients. I've been, a lot of my clients have been gaining results with this. So working with me on a five-step process, you'll be able to create that impact, your income coming from your talent, and definitely that influence that's really influencing the people in your space. That's starting your family, your office, your ministry. And so if you are interested, I would really love to have a discussions, a conversations with you. Get in touch with Coach Rizal or book um, a discovery session at Coach A page. Now, I'm the global partner of the Global Institute for Coaches and Entrepreneur, and our institute is based in Dallas, Texas, USA. On the screen is our CEO, our founder, and the owner of the institute, Master Coach Lakendra Smalley. I am taking care of the global expansion of the institute through offering life coach certification classes and programs. And our trust, our objective, our eyes is set on certifying 1 million coaches globally. All right. So one of the great news that we have in the institute is we have been recently confirmed as the Bonafide Institute for Mental Health. And therefore, if you are one person who's interested to dive in to focus on mental health, get in touch with Coach Rizal to 0917-586-1661 and reserve your slot for our upcoming certification class for mental health. So it's going to be very soon, and definitely we would like to be selective of our students, and therefore if you are interested, you can now pre-register with Coach Rizal. Another thing that we do for mental health is that we offer mental health and wellness at work as an introduction and course. This is no investment, no monetary investment needed. But if your office is needing this, just get in touch with us and set an appointment, and we can do an introduction sessions on mental health and wellness at work. Okay, so another thing is I am the founder and the chairman of P165 Worldwide Food and Beverage Unlimited Corporations, and we do business as Decaf Coffee Republic. Decaf Coffee Republic, obviously the sponsor of this 30 days exploration journey, is located at Pioneer Center across Bayanihan Center. This is along Pioneer Road, corner Brixtons and United Streets, Capitolio, Pasig City. We are open 24/7 online and physically from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. When we started operations in the second area, this is our second space, by the way, because we came from PSM. So if you are our clients, if you are a client and customers of DCAP and you're asking, are we the same store from PSM? Yes, we are the same store. We are the same coaching hub, okay, from Pioneer Street Market. Now we move inside Pioneer Center compound. And really the beauty of our new spot, new space is that we're able to operate 24 by 7. However, because of the pandemic and the curfew, we are closing the physical store at 7 p.m. So we still serve as a coaching hub. Yes, we are a coffee shop. We are not the typical coffee shop, as we provide refuge, a space where you can read books, you can really relax and have a reflection moment. But right now, you can do that at 7 from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. only. But after that, we continue to serve you and provide you with coaching services on demand virtually through the phone or SMS or through Messenger. So just get in touch with the number that you can see right now. That is not an automated number. That is not a call center. It's a number, personal number of Coach Rizal, our operations manager. Once you get in touch with Coach Rizal, you will be redirected. You will be endorsed to a professional certified life coach that would truly be able to help you with the particular areas of your concern. Okay, so let's start now with our 5 domains of decision making. Okay, so thank you so much for everyone who's on the screen right now joining me for this topic. I can see you. Good afternoon, coaches, change agents, and to all the guests. If you are first time to join me, thank you so much for joining in. Thank you for so much for hopping in. Now, put in the chat box below what can you see on the screen. Okay, so is this a maze or a labyrinth? Okay, come on, put it on the screen. Is this a maze or a labyrinth? So what about this? Is this a maze or a labyrinth? Put in the chat box, what do you see on the screen? Okay, now, when you go through life's affairs and you have to make a decision, you have to take a certain path. Okay, how do you see yourself? Okay, how do you see yourself? Okay, well, I can see those people answering right now, labyrinth and maze. Maybe you can say first picture, maze or labyrinth, second picture, maze or labyrinth, because I've shown you two pictures. All right, so that's awesome, Coach Ed Kimwell. Okay, Coach Ed said second picture is labyrinth. All right, so go. Thank you so much. I will be able to interact and read all your comments right after the sharing for this afternoon. Okay, so going back, you're going through life every single day and you need to path a certain course of directions or actions. You want a certain items decided on. Could you have a picture of how do you path a certain course? Okay, are you one person who go through a labyrinth, or you are challenged with different maze levels? I want to take this, like this moment right now, right here. Um, Take just a quick moment and ponder, quick reflection. Is your way of deciding things, going through life decisions, like a labyrinth or a maze that have several different challenging levels, and that you're so excited because you're able to level up in the degree of difficulty of the maze? Labyrinth, maze. Where are you at this season of your life? Okay. Now, oftentimes we go through life, and for many people, okay, this is the case that we go through life, they go through life like a maze. Okay. Um, they want to figure out how to go through the maze. And there are people who keep things very sacred to their heart. And no matter what happened, no matter what the options could be available, they are centered on what's in their heart, and they will follow it until they get it. So whatever in your heart, okay? So if you're a young girl, it could be just, get your cupcakes. Sometimes eventually that cupcakes or cookies become the boyfriend. The boyfriend eventually becomes, searching for the husband, or eventually that could be your career, that could be the profession, that could be your passion. What is it in your heart? Okay, so take a moment and say, and really understand, and have a mental picture. How do you make decisions every single day? Do you go through like the maze, or like a labyrinth where you're centered and you just want to go where your heart is? That particular thing that's being enclosed. Is that where you're headed? Is that what you're focused on? On the left side is a maze. On the right side is a labyrinth. A maze is a complex, branching, multi-cursal puzzle that includes choices of path and directions, while a labyrinth is unicursal. That means it has only one or a single non-branching path which leads to the center. So take a moment. A maze or a labyrinth? Where are you right now in the journey? With all the different options and with all the things that's happening in our lives, with the complexity of the world that is brought, that are brought by the pandemic, where we are today, is it a maze or a labyrinth? How is your decision making? I'll give you here a comparison of a labyrinth and a maze. Okay, so a labyrinth has a single true route with twists and turns but without branches. A maze is a confusing pathway that has many branches, choices of path, and dead ends. In terms of level of difficulty, a labyrinth is not designed to be difficult to navigate. It may be long, but there is only one path. That's why it's called unicursal. On the opposite, a maze is a tour puzzle and can be designed with various levels of difficulty, complexity, and should I say, excitement. In terms of entry and exit point, a labyrinth has only one entrance, and that is also the exit. There is just one path from the entrance to the center. However, the maze have many different entry and exit points. Now, in terms of significance, some labyrinths have spiritual significance. They signify the complex and the long path to reach God. Disclaimer: this is the standard descriptions and parameters to describe labyrinth and maze in terms of significance. But personally, I don't believe that going to God is complex as long as you have a personal relationship with Him. But purposes of discussion and the model, okay, many people feel that the significance of the labyrinth when it connects with your spirituality is it's a complex and a long path, but definitely you'll get to God. On the opposite side, the maze are used in science experiments to study spatial awareness and sometimes intelligence. So take a look at the two. Definitely, the internet can provide you a lot of comparisons. Oftentimes, people confuse a labyrinth with a maze with a labyrinth. But there are very distinct, okay, differences between the labyrinth and the maze. And in the same token, when we are confused of the way we path our course to decision making and getting things done, we are also confused of how are we going to get to the end or to the center, or how are we going to get the results that we want. So oftentimes it could be a moment, okay, it could be a moment where you feel confused. But when you understand that you have a choice, and all it takes is for you to make a choice. Will I go for a labyrinth or I'll go for a maze? So, in terms of decision making, which I'd like to share with you today, maze or labyrinth. With COVID 10 or 19, it's 10, sorry, it's COVID 19, life seems chaotic and complex. And that gives people a lot to worry about. But if we look closer, the message is change is needed, and now is the time to make it happen. Unfortunately, the trouble is what's already happening seems so huge, so unfathomable for many people, and so ingrained into patterns that are decades or even generations old. People don't know what to do or how to change the patterns. People need a way to make sense of their situation and figure out their next steps. This is the very reason why people need a coach who can help them consider their options and intentions so that they can make the best decisions in life. Now, seeing the world as complex and chaotic, we can make references to Cynefin. Okay, so you can read it as Cynefin Framework, developed by Dave Snowden in 1999, but it is really pronounced as Cynefin. It's a Welsh word meaning habitat, and the sense making framework has critical model for understanding, leadership, and strategic decision making, especially in tricky situations in life. And this is what I would like to discuss with you today. So, my sharing for you today will center around the Cynefin. How does it look like? Okay. So, this is the Cynefin model. Okay. So, you've got the complex, you've got the complicated, you've got the chaotic, you got the obvious, and on the center, you got the disorder. These are the five domains of decision making according to this framework. So let me discuss with you the framework. When you talk about complex, okay, which unfortunately is now the emergent practice. This is the relationship between cause and effect that can only perceive in the hindsight. So what normally happens with a person who is going through this complex decision making is that, okay, the person operating in this complex domain is like walking a maze blindfolded. Okay, so you have a picture of what is a maze, and a person who's operating in a complex domain is like going through the maze on blindfold. Unfortunately, this is the emergent practice now. So many people are going through the maze on blindfolds. What happened is they have to feel their way as they go. So they probe and probe. They go inspecting the scenario, hypothesizing, running multiple experiments, adapting, pivoting, exploring emergent practices. So they probe, they get their sense, they respond. So these are the people who needs the feel. Let me prove this, and let me get a sense of this, and then let me respond. But you see, to begin with, you're already blindfolded because your probing is coming from the hindsight. Your probing is coming from your past experiences. Your probing is what you have achieved in the past. And so when you probe a thing, you're only able to probe according to what you have already learned or gained in the past experience. So you inspect, you hypothesize, you run multiple experiments, but to begin with, you're on blindfold. So how many of you can connect with this? That you're feeling like walking in a maze and you're on blindfold. The next domain is the good practice, which is complicated. Ooh, complicated is a good practice, by the way. The relationship between cause and effect requires analysis or some investigation and the application of expert. Okay, so you get a sense of things, you analyze it, and you respond. So no longer probing, but you get a sense of it, you analyze, and you respond. So operating in a complicated domain is like walking through a maze, just walking through it. There are recommendation and hands-on processes already exist for the situation that you are in. So you only need a little expertise and analysis to make a suitable choice from the small number of proven, repeatable, good practices. So the difference between the complex and the complicated is that here you get a sense of things. You don't have the blindfold, okay? You sense it. So you get your analysis, you analyze it, and you respond. Okay? So how do you analyze it? Okay, so you've got senses, which is personal to you. And how do you analyze? You analyze the situation based on proven, repeatable practices in the past. It means there are already people who've been through that experience. There have been people who've been through the maze. They made it, they got it, and what you only have to do is to analyze which of which would fit into you. And then you respond. So it may seem complicated, but this is a good practice. Are you connecting? Now, what about the chaotic domain? The chaotic domain is what is being held as the noble practice. It means many people are practicing this. The relationship between cause and effect at system level. So what normally happens is when there is a situation, okay, they act and they get the sense of things and then they respond. So operating in the chaotic domain is like walking a maze while the walls keep moving. So imagine you enter a maze and yes, you're not on blindfold, but the walls on the maze is moving. The scenario is so fast changing that the only way to make progress is to devise a new practices. Apply them quickly and decisively because if you hesitate too long, the volatile situation will change again and it will force you to rethink your approach. It means when everything is moving, the best thing to do is to take action and say goodbye to your analysis paralysis. When you take action, you get a sense of it, then you respond accordingly. If it needs recalibration, if you need to tweak it, if you need to refresh it, to reboot it, then you'll do it. Okay? But the thing is, the maze is moving. So you can't stay there just doing all your thinking process until you're done, because it can't be. You need to move, take action immediately and without delay. So that is the chaotic. Making sense? What about the last? The last part is okay. The last part that makes sense to me, by the way, okay, because there's the fifth. Okay, so this is the fourth. The fourth is the obvious. Okay, so the obvious domain is what we call the best practice. And what is the best practice? The relationship between cause and effect is obvious to all. It means no brainer. You got the sense of things, you categorize it, and you respond. Operating in the obvious domain is like walking a straight path from A to B. You don't need any specialized expertise, because when you apply widely known best practices, you get the same outcomes as anybody else. That's why this is the best practice, and this seems to be the obvious. That's why it's called the obvious domain. Unfortunately, not a lot of people want this. Or they would say, I want it, but they do otherwise. Because many people wants to challenge whatever is already known, whatever is already established. Okay? So instead of going from path A to B, okay, and use whatever is widely known as best practice, they want to apply their specialized expertise, or they want to push for it. Therefore, it's no longer a path from A to B. So, are you finding yourself in any of the four domains right now? Now, what about the fifth domain? The fifth domain is disorder. That's the blank space at the middle. So if complex is the emergent practice, it means that people wants to be complicated. Okay. So from the best practice of what is obvious, people create complexity. That's why this is now the emergent practice. Okay. Some people remain, in the complicated sense and say, okay, this is good. I'm okay with this. I'm living with this for quite some time. I'm okay, on this spot. Some people are on chaotic. Okay, so it's been a noble practice because a lot of people is really on this practice, on this domain. What about the disorder? The central space is disorder. It's not knowing which of the domains you are in. You're confused. And when you're confused, when I say confused, to the point of not knowing what is the domains of your decision making, you cannot understand where do you operate. And when this is the case for you, your response to the situation is based on the personal preference of the person holding the leadership position in your life. Let me repeat this. If you are on the middle of that space, okay, this one, okay, so if you are in the middle where you cannot identify if you're complex, complicated, chaotic, or obvious, that particular central space is not knowing. And when you don't know, what happens is you base your decisions, your responses to the personal preference of the leader. And when you say the leader, it's not the leader who's sitting on the throne or sitting on the position, but the leader that you put in your mind, in your heart, and you allow in your life. So this is where rebellion, this is where chaos, this is even really the deadliest of all the mistakes even happen, because you are now in disorder. You don't know where your domain is, where do you operate, and yet what you do is you give and you respond, okay? You respond according to the personal preference of the person you accept as your leader. And that leader may not be really the leader. Remember, in the organizations, there is a CEO, there is a manager, there's a boss. And they would always say there is a secret manager or unspoken manager or the silent manager or the little manager. These are the people who influence the space. And most of the time, they are the bad influence. And these are the people now that you would allow in your space. These are now the people whom to whom you will base your response to a particular situation. Okay, explain ko, di ko makonect. Let me explain this, Coach Cherry. I get this. Okay, nabasa ko lang, last part ng comment. Okay, here's the thing. Let me explain this. Remember in an organization, when you don't know how you're responding. Okay, let me put this in a context of organizations and not on the personal life so it would be easier for us to connect. If you are in an organization and you're neither, okay, so for example, you don't know if the manner of your response is complex, complicated, chaotic, and obvious. Normally, what you do is you stand in the middle, right? You stand on the center. And why do you call it disorder? The perspective is you as a person. It is a disorder to you. Why? Because in this particular domain, your decision is based your response to a situation. Your decision is response. Okay, your response is based on the personal preference of the person holding the leadership position in your life. Holding, you allow it. So, for example, I am reporting, so I don't know what to do. I don't know how to decide on this. I don't know my domain, okay, and I have a boss. But you know that boss, I have an argument. That boss I don't like. And I would listen to the assistant manager because the assistant manager is my friend. Therefore, when we need to make a decision, when we need to take a response, I would respond according to the personal choice of the assistant manager. So that's what happened. Okay? So if you feel that, complex, complicated, chaotic, obvious, it's too much for you, and you just say, okay, whatever, okay, you are on the fifth domain, which is the disorder. And even when you say, whatever, bahala na kayo, okay, I'll give it up to you, you are still making a choice. And that choice is disorder. That domain is disorder. And definitely when you stay on disorder, you are still giving a response. You're still responding to the situation. Unfortunately, in this particular domain, your response is dependent on other people, of whom you allowed a leadership position in your life. So there is this recent publications from Business World. This is very recent. I believe this is April. Okay, and the title is Decision Making During this COVID-19 Pandemic Through the Lens of the Cynefin Framework. The authors warn that leaders often move to the complacency zone, the boundary between simple, obvious, and chaotic, when things appear to be fine, thus missing what is really happening and reacting too late. As a result, leaders fall over the edge in crisis and recovery is very expensive. What does it mean? Okay, let's connect this. Oftentimes, these leaders, okay, that you look up to will fall on the complacency zone. Okay, whether they are the real leaders or they are the leaders you allowed in your life, when things are well, these leaders can fall into the complacency zone. And so when the troubles happen, when things happen, they react too late. As a result, they fall over the edge in crisis, and the recovery is very expensive. Therefore, if you are basing your response to the situation based on this kind of leaders who's living in complacency and cannot adjust with the demand of the situation, could you imagine what kind of life are you living right now? Because of the global transition from obvious or complicated challenges and decisions to much more complex and chaotic scenarios, more and more people are now looking for support to get results, to make a real difference in the world, and to take action that matter, and to take back control of their lives. This is where we are today. And this explains why the demand for quality and result oriented coaching is higher right now than any time in history. What does it mean? Few years back, somebody can just coach without tools, without models, and say, I'm a coach. I have experience, I know how to do it. I've won and have triumph, I have success story over this area, and I can coach you. That was before. Today, people want results. They cannot just accept inspirations and motivation. What people want is result. People demand that we operate, that we serve with that excellence. And we've got models, tested models, we've got toolkits, we've got methodologies. Because at the end of the day, what our clients want is results. The global disruptions of what we once considered as normal life means that life coaching is no longer just a nice to have luxury or options for the few who can afford it. For so many people, it is already a necessity because in these unprecedented times of unrest, it is common not to be sure of what to do and how to navigate through life without support. This is where the world is today. And what we see is an evolving opportunity for coaches to serve and to thrive. We've got the opportunity to serve and thrive. We got the opportunity to serve and thrive because people needs help, because people wants help, because people needs guidance, because people cannot go through all these intricacies without support. But the question is, where do you bridge the gap? How do you bridge the gap? And when do you bridge the gap? Therefore, if you are one person out there and you know you got what it takes to help, you know you got what it takes to contribute to the what the world needs today, I summon you to rise up, evolve in your practice, get models, practice toolkits, get methodologies, get proven results. And out of those results, map your way so that you can help others. And if you're one person out there who's still thinking if this is for you, just get in touch with Coach Rizal, 0917-586-1661. Let's do a discovery or a strategy session call. Let's see how you can help the world. Now, if you are one individual who's needing support, you're needing help, do not second guess. You need help, you need support, just get in touch with us. We offer complimentary coaching services at Decap Copy Republic. We are a tribe of 200, soon to become 290 professional certified life coaches. Visit Life Coach Philippines every night at 7 p.m. We run through coaching toolkits. And there's a lot of ways you can be helped. Just get started because you need help and we're willing to help. If you have questions, post them below or call Coach Rizal right now at 0917-586-1661. Thank you for being part of Decap Brewing Live, episode 22. In behalf of Decap Copy Republic and the Coach A Coaching Club memberships, we thank you for being so faithful, so attuned. And should I say thank you for expressing gratitude for every nuggets, for every wisdom, for every takeaway that you're getting from us. We thank you. I will see you again tomorrow for episode 23. Have a great, great Tuesday. Bye bye.